we'll do roll call. Deputy Warden Ross, Councillor Thurber, Councillor Manzer, Councillor Tudor, and then we will go through Manager of Corporate Services, Cora Lee, Manager of Municipal Services, Tyler Foley, CAO, Jeff Sunderland, and our Executive Assistant, Pat Stevens. So we're all here, including me. So on saying that, I'd like us to take a moment to pause and seek guidance. And now we will start with for a minute I thought I'd lost something. With the approval of the agenda, is there any additions or deletions? There is one, a in-camera for personnel. Hearing no others, please would someone move to accept the agenda as amended?
I motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next is the approval of the minutes of August the 10th. Is there any errors or omissions? Hearing none, would someone like to approve the minutes of August the 10th?
I'll move the approval of minutes of August 10th.
Is there a seconder? I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Did anyone have any unfinished business from the minutes of August the 10th? Hearing none, we will continue. The next is a presentation delegation from Robbie Bay's Outing Center and
Flat.
Did you get that, Pat?
Kent Black?
Flat. F-L-E-T. Thanks.
So could I have a mover to have them come forward to do their presentation?
So moved.
Okay.
Oh, was that bad?
Well, she said she was saying it.
Oh, oops. I didn't notice. Nope, I'll
second it.
No, I'll second it. Angela's going to move it. I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. I haven't really been drinking. It just looks that way. Now, if you would like to begin.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for taking the time to listen to us this evening.
Could you just turn your mic on?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
You might want that just a little bit, so you don't put your,
Good evening,
that's
and
better.
hello everybody. On our agenda this evening is an update on the window project at the Outing Centre in Bear River. We have to replace our 87-year-old windows. We're looking to put in thermals, and much more efficient ones. We started the process back in January, and it basically revolves around the Outing Centre raising $10,000, Annapolis County contributing $10,000, Digby County we're asking you to contribute $10,000. The province have come through and are going to have promised $25,000, and ACOA, we have an application in with them that's finally all put together for $30,000. So that comes to about $80,000, and that would just about take care of our windows and furnace repairs and some roof on the back that we. It's 3 stories up, and it's then you start Mount Eiger and it goes up 15 feet, and it's quite a big project to get there. The idea was that we'd get the materials together, and then we'll get a work project with Employment Nova Scotia and Nova Scotia Works. We're in the middle of the negotiations with Employment Nova Scotia and Nova Scotia Works. Nova Scotia Works can't start looking at people until Employment Nova Scotia decides to do the project, but they want Nova Scotia Works to evaluate the people. So anyway, we're in chicken and egg situation, which has been going on for about 7 months. We were applied to the province, and because of the election, they waited until the end of June before they announced that they would give us the money, which the project was supposed to start in May. And then ACOA had run out of money in their green fund, so we had to apply through another whole funding series to get. But we're confident that they'll come up with that money. Now we've got various letters of support from Barrow Board of Trade. They're in complete support of the proposed new windows project. Many benefits that will raise the level of safety and sustainability of the building. The Oakdean Centre is a leader in providing community services to families, youth and seniors in our community. And the Barrow Board of Trade has used and continues to use the Oakdean Centre for many events. Yearly music events, popular Mardi Gras festival. We hosted a municipal election event, but we also had the provincial candidates debate just a little while ago. We've had public presentations, the Leonard Cohen presentation. There's a popular Christmas craft show which brings hundreds of shoppers to Oakdean Centre. And they say the window replacement work's necessary for the Oakdean Centre to continue with its programming in the future. Part of our plan is to reduce our oil costs. It's costing us about $15,000 a year to heat the building with oil, and we're determined to get off of that somehow. The first thing we've got to do is get the building efficient. So having efficient windows is number one on our list. Now we're fully rented in there. The classrooms are fully rented. We've got 4 working artists, a writer. We have the museum. Ken works for the museum, they're of a historical society. We have a retail boutique. Sharon Postma does clothes and all kinds of things that she sells there. We have a co-op room with a group of artists that get together and use the room. And we also have a fiddle player, that Hayley Ryerson, and she teaches 5-year-olds to 50-year-olds fiddle playing, and she's just released a CD, and we just sanded the floor in their classroom. Economically, that keeps us going. It pays the bills, but usually our fundraising takes place in the auditorium. We usually have lots of music events and things going on, but since COVID's happened, we've really been hamstrung. We've had a few events go. We've had Shelley Marshall had some plays there. We had Eastland TV came and did a shoot there for a haunted house type thing. We had the CBC a couple of years ago was still standing and packed the place there. At the moment, we just got yoga classes, and there's two of those going on, and there's fiddle practice and music, and there's some daycare,
Mums and
young mums, bringing in kids. Part of the next stage of the plan will be putting an auditorium or putting an atrium on the side with a wheelchair ramp, so we can get everybody up to the top floor, and we can use the atrium to collect the heat from the summer sun and put it into the ground, so we have a solar assist heat pump. And we have a student from community college, the sustainable technology program, that's going to be working with us to develop the bits and pieces that we need. Let's see, I don't know. In the last few years, we've had a new roof, we've had new electricals. Before COVID, we had regular dances. We've got the best dance room, best dance floor in the county around here. And so we've had lots of good dances there with everything, ballroom dancing, line dancing, rock and roll, blues, country. We had George Fox. We had lots of local musicians, lots of good local plays as well. Astounding that, had some very good stuff. We had dance companies come through and do shows, and basically our model is to try and get more efficient, try and cut our heating costs, and then we'll be able to hire a full-time staff. At the moment we have 0 staff. It's run entirely by volunteers, including Ken is our manager, and he takes care of broken pipes and crawling under things and hanging on to things. But would really welcome if you saw fit to contribute to this. Every dollar that you put in is attracting 7 other dollars. So if you put in $10,000, it goes with 70,000 other dollars that are put into this program. If you count the value of the work project, there's probably about another 70,000 for a total of 140,000. And I knew some people in a COA once, and I said, "How do you calculate total economic impact?" And they said, "You had a 0." So 140,000 becomes a 1.4 million total economic impact over time. Where I'm beginning to think actually that there's 1.4 million spent in offices, and we've applied. I think we're around 20 offices at the moment. With by the time you go to WCB, the Workers' Compensation Board, Nova Scotia Works, it's a huge number of huge amount of paperwork, but we're getting there, and I think we're at the point where we're going to get a really good project going, and it will make the building a lot more energy efficient. We'll have more events happening as soon as we get over the COVID thing, and that's about it, I think.
I have one, but I'll wait till I get back to my seat.
Okay.
Just for a point of clarity for council, so the Opening Center had submitted proposals when we went through our budget process. So council had approved 2,500 of the 10,000. Robbie had asked to come to speak to you to discuss increasing the amount. Is why they're here tonight.
Okay. My question, I know you said, and I just want to double check that, you had confirmation from the province? I did understand that, right?
We have 25,000 approved, and we've received 20,000. It got held up for 6 weeks with the change of government. They did an audit on everything, so we've been assured that the check was in the mail in August, but it didn't arrive till the end of September.
So it was 20, not 25?
The final 5 is after we've completed
okay.
paperwork at the end of the project.
And my other question is, have you heard from the County of Annapolis?
We have the 10,000 from them. They committed in the spring, and we have that. And we've repaired our furnace, which we needed to do. And so that's been an important part of it. And,
Next, the last question from me. Is it accessible to get into your building? I've been in your building, but it's been a couple of years, and I have a brain like a sieve some days. I remember walking up steps, but then it's flat. But is there a way wheelchairs can get in?
there's a wheelchair access to the main ground floor, and we've just widened that ramp and made it more accessible. And that was a volunteer effort as well.
Okay, because there was 4 or 5 steps, and then you went on to a sidewalk.
The wheelchair ramp brings you right into the ground floor. There's no steps if you go past on the wheelchair ramp.
Okay, that was
right at the main entrance door. We hope to do one up to the top floor, but that's going to be another project. It's
that's a huge.
Yeah, it's a 200-foot ramp. We have to go 60 feet down, and then back around, and then back around to get to the.
Because otherwise, it would be just like.
Yeah,
whoa! Anyone who skateboards would like it.
Stand at the top of the hill and come down.
Matthew?
When do you expect to hear from ACOA?
They've finally finished all the paperwork. We had issues with them at the beginning, partly because they'd run out of the money they were planning to use. But then we were told they didn't want to pay for the furnace, but they'd pay for painting the front. Well, painting the front wasn't really part of our project, but if they're going to give us the money for it and we've got to put the windows in, we have to have staging up, we might as well paint it. So we'll do that as well. But then we went back to October and they said, it was a different person, and they said, we're paying, we'll help pay for the furnace. Luckily, we'd actually paid for the furnace through already. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having any heat on at the moment because it needed a serious amount of work and piping replaced and everything. But yeah, everything's in and everything's crossed, T's crossed and I's dotted, and
So
we're
you're
just
going
waiting
for
to hear.
30,000, about
We hope to
18 windows, right?
Yeah, we hope to hear this month. And,
Angela, do you have any questions?
No, not this time.
George? David?
What do we have left in the budget?
We can't make any decisions tonight.
I was just curious.
Oh, I have no idea.
We had 13,400.
Okay.
Okay, since there's no other questions, I really appreciate you coming in to do the presentation. We never, ever make a decision.
No, that's
on
fine.
a presentation.
No, I just I wanted to give you an update of
But
where we were.
I actually appreciate that. I guess I do have one thing. Even though you used the money that was for windows from the county and used it for the furnace, and if ACOA is still willing to pay for that furnace, then that money would go for the windows, wouldn't it, from Annapolis?
Yeah, our total bill for materials, including the furnace, was about 90,000.
Okay.
And they said they kind of rounded us up from about 25 to 30 because they thought contingencies. At first it was, they were trying to cut us down all the time, and now they've added a little bit more just so. I don't know.
And does everything have to be done by the end of March?
We're gonna buy the windows. It depends on Employment Nova Scotia coming through with a work project.
Okay.
Now, whether they're going to come through before the winter sets in. Certainly, the painting is going to have to be the spring, really. So I think it may end up being the spring before we get this project
Just
off
buy
the
the
ground.
stuff before.
Yeah, but we still have to do the roof on the back, so we're probably going to end up doing that with volunteers, and that's old timers. Any volunteers? It's 40 feet up off the.
I was going to say there's not enough money in China to make me go up there.
No.
That's high.
Anyway, it's
I'd be on the ground and you'd be saying, "What's that mess?"
Yeah, well, we've got safety harnesses and the rest, but even so, it's
Still hot.
it's up there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your
Thank you very much
for your time.
for taking the time to come in and talk to us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. You can stay for the rest of the meeting if you
No, you don't.
We always like to give people that option. They might find it interesting. The next is the Chief Administrative Officer's report. As you noted, on October the 19th, which is next week, there's no meeting. On October the 26th, it's council. On November the 2nd, it's bylaw and policy. November the 9th is committee of the whole. The 16th, there's no meeting. The 23rd is council, and the 30th is no meeting. Anyone have any problems with any of those dates? Okay. And then we had the CAO's update. Is there any questions on any?
It said that we were going to, where is it here? Where is it? For the tourism levy. Yeah, the fall. Are we going to be talking about that this fall?
Yep, we've got a bylaw meeting in November. The October meeting was canceled, you may recall. And the September one was full of all the items from summer.
Okay. Yeah.
And we had strategic planning to plan for, so that's why it wasn't on that. I do believe, I have read in the minutes of data, that data has strong feelings on a timeline for this. Do you care to add anything to that?
I
Councillor
think
Thurber?
that at one time, someone from the town had told them that it could be done, and so they were hoping to have it up and running by January so that they could have a soft start.
I think that the minutes of the last data meeting imply that data is going to send us and the town a letter requesting a January 1st start. So we are looking for that letter. If that is a sooner date than maybe we anticipated. It's not undoable, but there are some challenges in there. The bylaw itself, the language for that is established. The role and details of the program have not been established with our partner data.
And they are aware of that. Like
Yeah.
Peter and I both told them.
So yeah, I think we're waiting on that letter.
All right. Any other questions? You saw the department reports. Is there any questions on any of the department reports? My only comment about all the reports is I don't know how Terry has a life. Mama, that's a lot. But everyone does excellent reports. They're very well informed, informative. I shouldn't say informative to us. And so if there's no questions, I guess I do have one. Did I misread in the airport report, paving is going to be done differently?
Yeah, that was in Bruce's.
In Bruce's report. He said something about.
NAV Canada has changed the way runway surface conditions are reported.
Yeah, that didn't mean paving, it meant
Just
what the,
right.
okay, sorry. When I read it, I just wasn't sure
I
what
believe
it
it was
meant.
still a paper form that was faxed in, I think, and they've moved it electronic.
Okay, that was my only question on that. Any questions from anybody? Then we will continue onwards. There is no dangerous and unsightly. The business items, we had a letter from Jill. She's was asking the Aquaculture Review Panel to look at where it should be held. Right now, they're still saying Yarmouth. I really feel that we need to write a letter as well, suggesting it be in Digby for the people of Digby, for the Digby site.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But how does council feel?
Fine with that. It should be closer.
Yeah.
Well,
So would someone like to make a motion that we write the Aquaculture Review Panel?
I move that we write the Agriculture Review Panel requesting a meeting for Digby County, to be held in Digby County. If they have any troubles finding a place, I can find them lots of places.
Oh.
Down in Westport, maybe.
Yeah, Joe made some.
Really good suggestions too. Is there a seconder to that motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carries. The next is National Veterans Week. Is there anything that we can do as a municipality? I mean, I know that we buy our wreaths, but is there something, like they're saying, maybe do a virtual presentation or, have a speaker? I'm just wondering if there's anything we could do for our veterans.
We only got 3 left on the islands.
I was gonna say, I don't think there's many left, but I would like it. I don't know what we could do, that's my question. Could
Where
we?
would it be shown? Where would it be broadcast?
Well, that's what I mean. all I can think of is asking each legion, and that would include Bear River, to send us maybe a list, if they are allowed, that we could send thank you for their service cards from the municipality, and maybe put in a little gift card or something, just to say thank you. I don't think there's that many veterans left.
It's a couple dozen probably in the county, I'd say.
Because, but what do others think? And I'm not sure if they'd even be allowed to give out the names, but.
Yeah, but I think it is good to acknowledge from the municipality.
Yeah, and I think more a nice note than a nice card that's written in, and that we all sign it.
Sounds fine.
So can someone make a motion that we contact the legions?
I move we contact the legions and request a list of all surviving veterans.
I'll second that.
Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carries. And do you think it would be nice to just put a little gift card in each one?
Yeah. Well, we'll figure all that when we get the stuff, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, we'll have an idea how many.
See where you are.
And my only other thing, I'd just like to make sure we have all the legions listed right now. One would be Bear River, one would be Digby, one would be Deep Brook. No, Deep Brook isn't no more, is it? There's no legion in Deep Brook?
Clemensburg.
Which wouldn't,
Yeah.
that's Annapolis, okay.
Freeport.
Then it would be Freeport, Weymouth, and then Digby. Those are the 5, right?
Well, you said Digby twice.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I'm surprised there's 5.
But it's Freeport, Bear River, Weymouth, and Digby.
Yep.
That's our only 4?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm not sure who we can get in contact with, but.
Are you gonna do that? Is staff gonna do that?
And perhaps, and they'll probably have to explain why we'd like it. And maybe they have to call and get permission from each veteran. But
Yeah.
I just think it's good to acknowledge.
Yeah.
Okay. Next was the Nova Scotia Transportation Request Letter. And I'm not understanding this.
So I have a 2-part answer to that. So this is the letter. We get this annually, and until very recently, I think it's fair to say that everyone in the organization didn't fully understand what was being asked for here. So this is asking which of our J-class roads, if we had capital construction hopes that we were looking to spend money on our J-class roads, that we would be looking to partner with at 50% dollars with them. And I think up until very recently, or I could be talking into the future, our full understanding of our J-class road inventory has been not fully understood.
Oh, that's because I thought we had 7 kilometers of road.
No, we have just over 10 kilometers of road,
Okay.
but 29 roads make up that 10 kilometers.
Are you really? So it's like we have 150 feet in this road, 10 feet on that road?
We do. So I am in the process of gathering information to present in November at November's bylaw and policy. TIR has helped me with some of it, and then Norm has helped me with other bits of it on mapping so that we can show. It's a visual exercise to understand exactly what you just. It's small chunks. And
You literally have 10-foot spans of road?
Not quite 10 feet, but there's some very, like I say, 10 kilometers, 29 roads. There's some very small, and I think we've only got one over a kilometer. So these are very small roads. A lot of them were not understood to be ours. I think that the list of 5 has been what's commonly understood.
Okay. Yes.
So what I'm going to say, we're going to talk about this more. For this conversation, we have done no capital planning to spend money on anything like this. I am comfortable at this point going back with that we have no roads that we are looking to partner on until we talk about this further heading into next year.
Yeah.
But like I say, I do have information that's starting in November to give everyone the first bit of information we've been able to gather on this somewhat challenging file.
Okay,
But
thank you.
I guess if there's any questions, I still would like to send a response back with a motion from council tonight that there are no lists, that we are.
Yeah.
There are other rural municipalities that have 30, hundreds. J-class roads are not evenly distributed around the province. So certain areas, depending on, because we have the 217 and some big collector highways that form core roads in our communities, that those weren't classed. Other units have a lot more J-class roads, so this is a major program for some units that annually in their capital budget are planning for kilometers of partnership with the province. Just a very different world than most of ours are gravel, so they're not even conversations for this, but we do have some paved.
So I motioned that we bring back, we don't have any J-class roads to fund with this term in our capital plan.
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next is the Digby and Area Business Association funding request. This request came in to us earlier this year, and we did turn it down for the various reasons. So, yes, Angela?
Are they the same ones that did the summer program with music? Did we give any?
No, these weren't the summer program. That was Weymouth. It was the summer program.
These are
No,
the
I'd
guys.
say, I think there was the.
We'll let Jeff answer.
So yes, it is the same group that had asked in the summer, and when we said no to that request, we had said when it got closer to Christmas if they wanted to put a second request in that they could.
But they had mentioned that in that first request.
Yes, they had.
So, I
I'll make a
personally
motion-
still feeling no, so.
I'll make a motion that we give them $500.
I'll second. Get it on the floor.
I have no problem with $500, and if there's recognition.
Then that, I think, would have to be in the motion for me to even agree, since we have never had any recognition in 5 years from this group, from what we are doing.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna vote against it, but I think that has to be in your motion. So, Angela, I'm asking you to amend your
I'll
motion.
amend the motion that they
Must.
must include us in their
Recognition.
Advertising.
advertising. It said something about they were doing a calendar this year.
Yeah, well, they've done a booklet all the other years, and they never got us in. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
No, I haven't got to nay yet.
It was.
Okay. Contrary minded? Nay, nay. And Angela, you never voted. You have to vote one way or the other.
Oh, okay, well, I was, I'll say yes.
Motion carried.
We had 2 days?
2 days, and I want them I want mine recorded.
Go ahead. One way or the other, I don't mind. If anyone ever wants to look up what I voted for, I'd be amazed.
Next, under correspondence and information items, is Robert McKinnon, Nova Scotia Gaming Corporation. Any questions on that? Okay. Municipality of Barrington Coastal Protection Act, and you saw their concerns and their read of the proposed regulations of Coastal Protection Act. Any comments? Matthew?
Yes, I read through this, and I see a lot of good points there. I read through it, and I would like us to drop the same thing as the municipality of Digby and send a letter just like this to the province. I think there's some good points there with some of those recommendations. You know, the cost that's going to cost to the municipality, trying to find surveyors. You can't even find surveyors now. How are we going to go out and find surveyors, plot lands, to tell these people that you got to be 80 feet or 60 feet back from the shoreline? There's a lot of questions here that they raised that I totally agree with, and I think we should write in ourselves.
So then we can, if there's, is there any opening on our bylaw policy to discuss this?
Discuss what the problems are.
That, and I would have to confirm, I believe the consultation period may have closed on this.
It did.
It may have.
Okay.
Then it's.
We could get some clarification on that. Now, I do think, to be fair, that the sessions that I took part in, like, the concerns they're addressing, the province is aware of. I can't suggest the province is going to change much at this point, right? There are some rural areas where the concentration of, or the lack of concentration of surveyors is more evident than others.
Mm-hmm. Well, they talk about red tape and stuff. I mean, how long is that going to hold up production? I mean, it's like kind of calling for a Chris Millier right now. I mean, a surveyor is hard. And then, I don't know. I understand what you're saying, Jeff. I'm just wondering if echoing the same thing.
Right.
I know. It's a new government, too. Things have changed. A lot of this, you know, maybe it's getting looked into. Maybe it will change. Maybe with new people in there. I don't know. But they're very good points for me.
Yeah, we could send a letter that we felt that there was good points made. Just a letter backing them up. Maybe nothing is, even though the period for consultation is passed. Maybe I don't know, some sort of letter rather than something involved and expressed like what they had already put together between those 5 units. Maybe something, I don't know. And also writing a letter, we haven't really discussed this in too much detail ourselves.
No,
So
but after reading what they said,
I feel like we'd have to sit down and spend quite a bit of time to come up with anything close to what they'd already done.
And I mean, like Jeff said, they are aware of that particular issue with the lack of surveyors and engineers and whatnot. The session I attended, they spent a lot of time talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Their hope is that the market will just correct itself after time.
Yeah,
But for the year or two that could take, even if that is successful, that's the main worry, right? Because like you said, it's hard now to find people. So.
And the whole point is for us to protect the coast, and that, so, so you have to do something.
Yeah, people are going to be unhappy no matter what for Coastal Protection Act. Be sure of that. Maybe we could just, I don't know, ask Jeff to write a quick letter just bringing up those 3 things, those
But
3
if
points.
it's already.
well, it's going to fall into that.
I know, but just wasting our time. Yeah.
I don't want anyone to waste their time.
Yeah, maybe we'll just leave it at this. Like Tyler and Jeff said, that they do seem quite aware of this, and that's 5 units right there. I don't see us doing much more than what they had done.
Yeah, the consultation period closed September 30th. I think this was on the committee of the whole agenda in August. The August committee of the whole was when this was on our agenda.
Okay. We have it in camera, right?
Not yet. The next is the Municipality of Yarmouth. That was the Accessibility Association discussion group that we've already put Angela on, and that's just to confirm that Angela is this is committee of the whole, so we don't have to confirm.
No, that's it. They just copied us on the town of Digby invited. Yes. I lost track of the 11 units, and so they just shared their response with us as well as everybody else. So just a correspondence.
All right. So you're right. The next is in camera.
Madam Warden, before we were in camera, I thought we were voting on the Barton School tonight.
No, that's on council.
Oh, and maybe for next bylaw and policy, could we add on discussion about a vaccine policy for the staff?
That's
and for
already,
council?
that's already on there.
Is it okay?
Yeah, we're
That
gonna
was
have to
discussed.
bite the bullet.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's already being worked on.
But it's gotta be done.
But thank you, Councillor Manzer. So, before we go in camera, can Pat say, or is Pat? Oh, okay. We'll just wait for Pat.
I start cleaning.
Do we have a motion to go in camera?
Oh, I move to go in camera.
For her to go.
Yeah, but I had to record that.
Oh, okay.
Motion to go in camera.
For a personnel matter. Is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carries.